Recording live, no editing. YouTube, it's been quite a while since the game has come out, and I believe I could show you the cheapest, most successful decks at the moment. And I didn't do any preemptive research. I'm just gonna do this live, just using the website. So we already know, looking at the tier list, here are top decks. And if you think there are other good decks, you're right. If I take off tournaments only, these are all good decks too. These are all doing quite well. But what's cheap? Let's look at the cheap decks. So on this page, what I could do is I can condense the view if I want, and we could sort by prices. The UR and super rare is going to be the crafting resource. You divide by 30, and that's how many are in the deck. So if I could find my handy dandy calculator hiding behind the Twitch chat, I could show you that 480 of the URCP divided by 30 means this fool's playing 16 ultra rares. Maybe you might consider that to not be bad. So if I sort by the most expensive deck, 1,050, are you kidding me? That is a pay to lose deck, not even on the tier list. And this fool's got 35 ultra rares in his deck. Sweaty, try hard. Oh, Pack TCG, hello, thank you. Now, I'm gonna sort by the lowest ultra rare. So right here, we have, as you could see, the Draco Slayer deck. This seems to be the cheapest deck. You even have a version of the deck not playing any ultra rares. Look at that, none, no ultra rare, no extra deck. So check out the True Draco deck. This deck is funny. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert of all the decks I'm talking about here, but this is generally a tribute summon deck. I know that this card is probably one of the best cards here, that you flip this up, and if you have nothing in your extra deck, you negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the fields. That's crazy. It's like a skill drain. It's another skill drain. So, and then a good card here, not only Pot of Desires, but Pot of E. So this will just be a good base, the cheapest deck you could play. But if you want to optimize this and make this better, we'll go to the True Draco breakdown. So if you want to make it more optimal, make it better, it will look something like this. For tournaments, I don't think anything top, none of them top tournaments. This is for ladder play, Platinum 1. Here's a another sample deck with an ultra rare. So make sure you can check out these. So I'll do, if you want a screenshot, get ready. I'm just gonna highlight these decks and you can screenshot them and then combine them or just use the website. So for the cheapest deck you could play to get Platinum 1 with, these are only Platinum 1 decks, you're gonna have the True Draco deck. What's up next for cheap decks? Let's see. Next up, we have a cheap Cyber Dragon deck. Wow. 270 URCP. So let's bring up that deck and you could screenshot it. The 270 URCP is going to mean that it is playing how many ultra rares? It's playing 9. Now, are any of these ultra rares cards that we could take out? Windows Update's asking me to update in the middle of my video. I think at the same time every day. Let me fix that live in this video while you're looking at this. I'm so sorry. Freaking pissing me off, mate. Do update on this day. Come on, get away from me. Let me close that. All right. So is anything optional here? Do I see any staples that are optional in the main deck? For the main deck, I don't see any. I see impermanence. So you could take out 2 of the impermanents and you could replace it with Chalice. Chalice is really good. So if you want to look at some good cards that are free, you could, on the popularity, you could type in rare. And you could type in common, I think. We're not doing common. So here are rare cards that you could be used. So the Chalice is good. Chalice is a very good rare card. If you're missing spots in your deck, that's who you want to use. Even the super rares are good. The super rares are not ultra rare. So you have the Pot of Desires, the Gamma. This is a really good replacement for an ultra rare staple like seeing the Ash Blossom or the Max C or the Called by the Grave. Great replacement. You have Twin Twister, Anti-Back Row. What other popular cards are being used? You want to choose what pot's being used in your free-to-play deck. So a good way to know what pot is being used in your deck. We'll do a quick pot review now. So I gave you 2 free-to-play decks. Pot is a super rare, so let's do pot. Just type in pot. Here are the pots. We have pot of D, pot of P, pot of E, and we're gonna stop there. We'll look at pot of D. These are decks you could use your pot of D in. So check it out. Good to look at how many are not using it to see how much of a staple it is for your deck. So that's the quick view there. Search for your deck. You could also pot of P. What decks are using pot of P? Pot of P is if you don't want to banish from your deck. You want to banish 3 to 6 cards from your extra deck to dig for a combo card. So here are decks that are using the pot of P. Then the last pot, pot of E. This will be the rarest one. Eldritch likes the pot of E because it randomly banishes from your extra deck, which you can't afford to do if you use your extra deck. So these are going to be decks that don't mind randomly banishing from their extra deck because they focus on the main deck. You get that free draw +1. Let's see if there's another free-to-play deck I could show you. If we're looking, we have a Virtual World deck. Virtual World is a top deck. If we look on the tier list, Virtual World is tier 2 right now. Now this deck can't be built optimally if it's going to be this free. There you look at that, 300 ultra rare CP. Without whipping out my calculator, that's definitely going to be 10 ultra rares. Now, what can you remove from here that you don't need? You don't need the Ash Blossom, but one is free from the bundle. That's fine. You don't need the Max C's. It's the best card to get among the top 3 of Called by the Grave, Max C, and Ash Blossom. So with the majority of the ultra rares being the Ash Blossom, Max C, and Called by the Grave in this deck, you can make the deck so much cheaper. That's great. You will be playing Virtual World on a budget. Virtual World is all about if you like your true King of Calamities, which is banned in OCG, TCG, then that's going to be great. So this is a great, really cheap deck to play. Let's give you another really cheap deck to play. Eldritch. This is the #1 hated deck. And again, this is a deck on the tier list. So you have the Eldritch deck right here. But Dkayed, you did a free-to-play guide on Tri-Brigade. I did give you a good free-to-play base of the deck and a way to build into a more optimal version of the deck. Now, it is good, but these are decks that are popping up. They may not be as good as Tri-Brigade. These are good, cheap options. So let's see this cheap Eldritch deck and what you don't need in this deck. The ultra rare Solemn Judgment is from a bundle. Totally fine to use. I would consider that free. Called by the Grave could be replaced. How do you know what to replace these cards for if you want to build a more optimal deck? Because you might be lucky. Just because you're free doesn't mean you're not lucky. Click on the Eldritch breakdown. So your more optimal version of the deck will be towards this. Check out the ratios. Right now there's an epic battle between the 3 Eldritch crew and the 2 Eldritch crew. Who plays 2, who plays 3 in their main deck? And then here's a recent sample deck of a $1,000 tournament. That is great, all automated. And I forgot to give you that for the Virtual World too. So let's click on the Virtual World breakdown. If you want to optimize your Virtual World deck, it's going to look like this. And let me know if you like the idea that I submitted to the devs. I'm going to be sorting the deck stats by main deck monsters, main deck spell and traps, and the extra deck. Will that make this look better? Because it kind of looks jumbled and maybe a bit confusing. So that is going to be in the works. The devs will be working on that. I think sorting them could be good. Here's a good sample deck of how to play the deck optimally and then compare it with the breakdown. Let's see if there's any other cheap decks. Hello to the chat. Say hello. Let's go to right here, Lunalight. Now, Lunalight, you want to be careful about this deck because there's not a lot of them on the website. So let's type Lunalight. Lunalight, right here, there's only 3 of them, and they're not top in tournaments. But we have a cheap version of Lunalight, so proceed with caution when Lunalighting. The Draco is kind of similar. It's not top in tournaments. Well, yeah, the true Draco is not top in tournaments. There's 6 of them, but there's more of them than Lunalight. It's more popular. So checking out the Lunalight, oops, there's no Lunalight in True Draco, so that's what I was highlighting. We have Lunalight deck right here. Let's check out the cheapest one, the 330, and then you can look at the breakdown with me. Very nice. Cheap Lunalight deck. Screenshot it. Know that you can remove the 3 Max C, the Ash Blossom if you want. The Lightning Storm is in a bundle for free, all right? As far as I know, Harpy's Feather Duster, you're not getting it for free. So that is another card that's optional. Optional, bundle, great. Lunalight Breakdown, you'll go to the website yourself and you'll check it out. And we'll maybe do one more free-to-play-ish deck. I think we'll go up to Tri-Brigade to see the cheapest successful Tri-Brigade deck. So let's sort by the prices. Let's go to page 2. We did the virtual where we did Cyber Dragon. Here's a Zodiac deck. Here is an Adamancipator deck. Here is a Lyralist deck. And then where the heck? I'm just going to click on Tri-Brigade. I'm clicking on Tri-Brigade. So right now, this is the most successful Tri-Brigade deck that is the cheapest on the website. And it actually topped the tournament. So that's great. Let's see what it looks like and how you can make this cheaper. You can make this cheaper by removing the Blossom, the Max C. Not that you should. You want those cards, but you want to play the game too, right? What's really good to highlight here is he has cheap hand traps. The Droll and Lockbird, that's cheap. The Gamma, that's cheap. The Skullmeister, that's cheap. He's like main decking side deck cards, but that's kind of what Yu-Gi-Oh is about right now. You could even drop Desires if you want, if you're low on the super rare resource. You could drop the Thoroughblade for the crappier Zodiacs, Ram and the Whiptail. And some people, in a budget version, you don't need Dryden, all right? Some fools are just not playing Dryden. Dryden's very good, though. You should get it. Believe me, it's in the optimal version. And here will be the breakdown of how the deck should be played. Look at the ratios. Here's a great sample deck. And then I'm going to just speed through the other decks so we can end this video and keep it short. We don't want it too long. I already hit the 8-minute mark to put all the optimal ads in this video. We're good. So here is a Lyra Lusk budget deck. Know what the good cards to take out. We here and look at the breakdown. We got the Adamancipator. This is 390 URCP. This is the Buster Dragon Exodia Lockdown. They're not going to be able to summon from the extra deck. The cat is on my computer. She might turn it off. I have to end this video real quick. Zodiac, all right? And then Lunalight. Thank you very much. Goodbye.